Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to an exciting Week 2 match of the SDL between we have FaZe Gaming and Sharkbait. HaHa! They are getting ready to get the game loaded up. Start checks and ready checks are coming up. This is going to be exciting. We do see a fully stacked bronze team on the side of Sharkbait HaHa, but we do have two gold 4s, and a silver from the side here of FaZe Gaming. So it's going to be exciting to see how much they're going to be able to pull forward in this and see what kind of strategies they're going to be able to come up here with. Looking forward here to seeing what's going to happen. Just waiting for the draft to start up with. Thank you again, everyone, for joining me for an exciting Week 2 game on Saturday. The draft here is started, so let's go ahead and see what's going on here. All right, just waiting for the first band to come through. All right, and we do see a Malphite ban coming out. Right now, Malphite is very strong with the AP bursting that can come out from his ultimate. So that is very scary for any AD carries to have to deal with. So going to be exciting to see that taken off the table, and Vayne taken off as well. Very good hyper carry here in the late game from the Vayne. So don't want to deal with any of that. That's never very fun whatsoever. All right, Varus taken away as well. A lot of team fight, but Varus has two builds too, so maybe just not want to have to deal with that ambiguity from that ADC. All right, Castle Wind being taken away here from on the side of Sharkbait. Really not want to deal with that late game hyper carry that Cassidon is. Once he gets rolling, it's basically unable to get that dealing with. Caitlyn ban coming out here, so a lot of focus towards the bot lane here. Three picks have been taken away, which is interesting because ADCs are not very strong right now. They are the least impactful role on Summoner's Rift. But it looks like we're going to see a Fiora picked up here as the first pick here from Sharkbait. Really wanted to prioritize that split pushing pressure. But then we have the Ornn here, who's going to be a lane bully as well as a massive team fighter with that Ornhorn ultimate coming out. What will the next pick be from C9 Morgana? Gotta imagine that's a C9 fan right there. See the Graves jungle picked up here. That is a very aggressive early laning and ganking jungler here. So it's going to be a lot of power picked up on the side here from the solo lane and the jungle from FaZe Gaming. Fiddlesticks picked up here as well. That's going to be a pretty big team fighting jungler if that is in the jungle. It could also be flexed to the support role, but not really seeing a whole lot of that lately. Morgana picked up here as well. Wondering if that's going to be support or mid laner. Morgana has been flexing in the jungle as well, but I don't think we're going to see that with the Fiddlesticks picked up here. Looks like we will see a Xerath hover. Trying to decide which champion he wants to go with. Is it going to be Ryze or is it going to be Xerath? He's toying with our heartstrings here. Will be the Xerath locked in. Really wanting to get that long range damage out here. And Xerath does hurt when he lands all of his abilities. It can pretty much delete you off the map with just the Q and the W right off the bat. So do not want to get stunned by the Xerath at all, or you will be off the map for at least 30 seconds. Okay, Yasuo being taken away here. Just really trying to block out this mid lane picks, though, which is odd because Xerath has already been picked up. So not sure what the Yasuo ban here. Maybe they're fearing it in the ADC or even in the top lane, but I can't imagine that being the case either with Orin picked up as well. So I think a little bit of a wasted ban here from the side of Sharkbait. Okay, and Ezreal being taken away here, a very safe and popular AD carry right now. Really able to get a lot of value out of his skill shot. So if you land everything, you're pretty much doing a lot of damage, but if you miss everything, you're doing nothing. So it is a highly mechanical champion, but somewhat easy to execute. Looks like we're going to see a Lulu support being picked up here. Really wanting to value the survivability and late game team fighting with the shields and the ultimate from the Lulu. Misfortune coming out here as well. Now, if that is paired with the Morgana here in the bot lane, but it looks like we are going to see... So here's interesting. Morgana and Pyke can both be flexed either support or mid lane. If I was Misfortune, I would much rather have a Morgana in the bot lane just because... we don't know what the support is going to be here. We could get a very CC heavy support, either Blitzcrank or Thresh or even a Nautilus, which is very annoying to deal with in the early game. So going to be interesting to see. We do see a Jinx popped up here. So looks like the side of FaZe Gaming is really focusing on getting a late game team fighting with the Lulu, with the Jinx, with the Orin, really wanting to be able to control these team fights in a very standard front to back. So it's going to be exciting to see here. No tanks picked up on the side of Sharkbait, so it's going to be interesting to see what they're going to be able to do here because they will get outscaled, especially with the ornaments coming in from Orin. Jinx being able to get that Molten Edge as her item will be very devastating. So Sharkbait is going to have to close this one out quickly because they do have an edge in the opening. Misfortune, a very good ADC. Pyke, obviously incredibly good once he hits level 6, being able to execute. Fiddlesticks is very annoying to deal with in the early game with the silences and the fears coming out. And Fiora is a monster split pusher in the top lane. She's going to be able to control those side lanes. So there are opportunities for both teams, but I do favor the draft here from the side of FaZe Gaming. It's looking like that's going to be the easier to execute, more standard front to back team fighting here, and we will have our competitive integrity delay here just about 3 minutes. That way our we're not going to have any kind of streaming ghosting or anything like that. We want to make sure that these players have the absolute best environment to play here in the game here. Thank you for that good analysis of the draft. I forgot to turn the the stream feedback down because that was a little confusing. I was like, wait a second, where'd that come from? Okay, hopefully that'll work there. Yeah, so it's just a little over 2 minutes remaining here for the game to get started up here. I'm looking forward to seeing the average ranking of this team. It's going to be bronze all the way through on Sharkbait, and we do have 2 bronze, a silver, and gold players. So the mid and ADC for FaZe are going to be gold 4 players. The support will be silver, and the top and the jungle are both bronze. I believe they were bronze 2 or bronze 4. I can't really remember off the top of my head, but they are bronze level. So a lot of bronze coming out here for this game. I believe that the knowledge and the experience on the gold level players is what's going to pull them through, especially since they picked an easier to execute composition here. Now, the one thing that is interesting about bronze players is that they are always limit testing because they don't have that full game knowledge yet. So I do see them going for a lot of these early game fights, and if they are able to somehow pull these early game fights out, then it will be a huge lead for the side of Sharkbait and even a potential window to close at this game before the Jinx comes online, before the Orin can dish out his Christmas presents. So will be exciting to see here. Just under a minute left before we get into the game here. Now, it looks like the mid laner is a substitute for the side of Face Gaming. If we're just looking at the team tags, Sharkbait does have their team tags all ready to go. I just see Xerath going for easy 20. Must live in Colorado or Missouri or something like that. But he's the only one in this game that doesn't have their team chat set or the team tag set up. So it looks like he is substituting, but it is good to have a gold player substituting when you're in a little bit of a lower average elo game. All right, and the game is going to get loaded up here. Just waiting for that to come up. Okay, now we do see the loading screen happening here. All right, just a couple more minutes and we will get into the game. All right, and the game is loaded up here. Everyone is ready to go, just waiting on the items to be bought here. But again, this is going to be an exciting Week 2 match of the ESDL. We have FaZe Gaming on the red side and Sharkbait HaHa on the blue side. It's going to be an exciting match, and I'm excited to be here with everyone. Alrighty. Standard pings. This is going to be a standard early game here. Not going to see too many invades. Lulu just maybe wanted to get a little bit of deep wars, but we do see a cheese setup. Well, no, sorry. This is more of a defensive. The bot lane is going to sit in that tri-bush, just waiting for any ganks to come through. If it does, they'll just lay a ward and then go to the blue buff, seeing how that's going to go. If you're listening in the chat, please let me know which team you're rooting for. We do see some Sharkbait chants coming up here, so I am curious to see which team is favored here, so please light that up in the chat. That way I know which team is favored here. All right, it looks like it is going to be the Fiddlesticks jungle. We are going to see a start on the top side for Fiddlesticks and a standard bot lane leash coming out from the side of FaZe Gaming. Just wanted to get that Graves early mana, being able to faster clear with that extra mana regen. All right. Now, what is interesting about the Xerath is that it's matched up against the Morgana, who does have the black shield. So ability to negate that stun, which sets up a lot of damage because Xerath is a very skill shot heavy based champion. The Lulu kind of meandering around here, just helping the Graves farm up a little bit, but Jinx is already pushed in from the side here of Misfortune and Pyke, which does have the early game advantage with especially level 2. It is very strong compared to the Jinx, who does not have a whole lot of abilities and really a lot relies on those resets. We are going to see a bit of a Q damage coming out as well here from the Misfortune. That is going to chunk the Jinx out, but Lulu should be able to heal that up once she starts getting her abilities coming online. Xerath wanted to go in for a lot of poke here on the side of Morgana, is able to get a lot of the abilities landed and push her out of lane. Those potions are chugging, but is it going to be enough? We'll have to see how much of that damage is going to stick. I don't see any love here from the side of FaZe Gaming in the chat. If you are a FaZe Gaming fan, please light the chat up. Let these Sharkbait fans know that you are here and proud of your team. We are going to see a little bit of an invade here on the Fiddlesticks. Flash away and flash in from the Graves here. Is going to meet up as Lance's come through from the Fiddlesticks. Graves is on the chase, though. Flash forward from the Xerath because Sun's going to be landed up, and that's going to be first blood going over to the Graves here. Morgana wanted to come in here as well, letting a bit of the cube blinding, but that's just going to dissuade what the chase was going to come through. But first blood picked up here on the side of Graves is going to be able to take that advantage, hopefully, to the other lanes. Hopefully, that will come through the bot lane, get them going, and have a huge advantage here. Looks like we do have some FaZe fans in the chat. Excited to see you here. If only I could hear your chants vocally, that would be epic. Like, let's go FaZe. Whatever, I don't know. Bot lane remaining relatively even. Guardian being used because that Q damage was coming through. But we do have a gank coming up here from the Graves onto the Fiora. She's going to be locked up by the Ornn. Ornn combo is huge. There's going to be a flash away, but is going to be inevitable. Graves will pick that kill up as well. And that is 2 kills onto this Graves early game, which is a fantastic early game jungler. Hopefully we'll see some more map pressure and that lead extended because this Graves is looking to be pretty strong. Able to get a hold over this Fiddlesticks. And then Jinx is just constantly being pushed under her tower, not really respecting the Q damage from the Misfortune, but is able to get some trades going on here. Pyke not setting up a whole lot of hooks here. Fiddlesticks is on the bottom side jungle here on the red side, so looking a little scary here for the bot lane. Could be a potential engage, but we do see a mid lane roam. Morgana does not have priority. She was losing so much farm and experience in the mid lane because Xerath was able to get that push in, but we do see Xerath coming in, and that is going to be a lockup onto the Lulu. No, flash away will keep her to safety, but that was very scary, especially with that Fiddlesticks roam coming through. And we are starting to see some leads balloon here, relatively even in the bot lane, but in the mid lane. 39 CS to 23 on the Xerath, able to really focus on wave management, clearing that out. And Jinx is going to be hit by another Misfortune Q. Somebody should ping her and tell her that you don't want to stand behind low minions when you're facing Misfortune. We do see the Graves coming in, trying to save this bot lane, who is just having a little bit too much of a hard time. Still staying even in farm, though, just losing out on these trades. Xerath again clearing the minion wave, but is running low on mana, so is not going to be able to keep the pressure up for long. Black Shield being used there, not really sure what that was used for. Xerath didn't really have a whole lot of mana to do anything. Dragon will be started up here a little bit on the side of FaZe Gaming. Looking to sneak that one away. It is falling low. Xerath is going to come over for the rotation. Bot lane is making their way up, though. So is this going to be a collapse? The Morgana is on the way. That's going to be pulling onto the Lulu. Is it going to be enough, though? The blue team does take away the dragon here, and that is a lot of damage coming out from the side here of FaZe Gaming. Able to get it turned around, even though losing the Drake. Xerath ultimately going to be used. Is it going to be enough damage? Morgana barely survived, but the flash forward onto the Jinx gets the reset with the auto attacks. Is the Pyke going to be able to fall? Looks like Pyke will live with that gray health, but Jinx playing a little bit aggressive there will pay off. Able to pick herself up a kill, and Jinx, once she gets rolling, it is incredibly hard to deal with her. She is voted the most likely of the ADCs to get a pentakill in high school, so a lot of action coming out there. What is interesting here is the dragon, the ocean dragon specifically, was picked up here from the side of Sharkbait, able to steal that one away. A little bit of too much of a collapse coming out, but FaZe Gaming able to turn it around onto the team fight, get those kills, so even up a little bit. We do have a 2,000 gold lead here on FaZe Gaming. Fiora getting the better of trades now on the Ornn without the pressure of Graves, known to be on the bot side with that dragon take. Just a little bit of a reset here. Both teams not wanting to overextend. We do know that there is a little bit of a lead onto FaZe Gaming, but it is shrinking up. Lulu taking a little bit too much damage, trying to keep the wave safe for her ADC. hopefully that will pay off. Hopefully Lulu can just heal up and not have to worry too much about that trade. But the Fiora does fancy herself a little bit of a trade, but the Orin is going to be able to even that out with those brittle procs. Graves on the way here, coming up, able to just take away the vision from the Pyke, so can't really land that Q, or the hook, excuse me. Bot lane is just a little bit of a guardian wall. Both teams unable to get anything done with the roams and the jungle ganks. Fiora still wanting to get some trading onto the Orin here, but we do have Fiddlesticks, who has 6, wanting to go on the Xerath. Binding is going to miss, so Xerath will be able to walk away. Graves is here for the counter gank. That is going to be a black shield onto the Fiddlesticks, keeping the Fiddlesticks alive. Morgana stepping up a little too forward. One more auto is going to take it out, and Xerath able to pick that kill up. Morgana just a little bit too far. She was out and decided to go back in. Not really sure what the decision call was there, but Xerath here able to land the stun onto the Fiddlesticks. Ultimate popped, and that is going to be a dead Fiddlesticks. This Xerath is now 3-0-2, very strong. Now you see the experience of the gold level player able to start taking over this game with the experience, knowing that the Fiddlesticks has overstayed, really knowing that the damage is there once the stun comes through. That is the most devastating skill onto the Xerath. Once that stun comes through, oh, there is going to be traps laid here. Is it going to catch the Misfortune? That's going to be a lot of slows onto the side here. She is going very low. Heal has to be used here. Pyke, W slow is going to come through as well, but the Pyke going untargetable is going to dissuade that fight from going any further. But Misfortune should be forced out of lane here unless she decides to stay. There are no potions available, and heal is already used, so if a gank does come through, looks like Xerath is making his way down, wanting this bot lane tower dive to come through, so hopefully the pressure does stay up here. Misfortune wanted to go in a little bit, does get that trade-off. W proc is going to come through onto the Misfortune. Xerath charging up the Q. Is it going to land? No, not onto the right target, but does still come a little bit of damage. Stun not coming through as well, and the wave is pushing, but the wave clear is huge from the Xerath, who does have this blue buff, able to constantly push in both waves, mid and bot. Fiddlesticks making his way over here to the bot lane as well. Want to get a little of this gank going through. Lulu a little too far forward, not pulling aggro though, just walking out of the range here. Flash away from the Fiddlesticks. Lulu using ultimate on herself to keep herself alive. Looks like this is going to be Jinx Reset City, and that is a double kill picked up for the Jinx, really coming online now with the help of this Xerath coming down. Now, the Jinx is starting to become a little too strong. Graves making his way over to the top lane, fancies himself a gank onto this Fiora. Fiora is going to be knocked up. Ornhorn coming through. The parry used a little too early, and that is going to be a dead Fiora here in the top lane. Graves able to pick up that kill again. Ornn only happened getting assists here, apparently. They know that Ornn is one of the bronze players, so hopefully just getting that gold onto the players with a little more knowledge, able to really balloon that lead. And Graves is doing an excellent job. 3-0-2, 3-0-4 on the Xerath, and 3-0-1 onto the Jinx. These primary carries really starting to come online. Infinity Edge already picked up from Jinx here. Full item ahead of the Misfortune, who has yet to get, looks like she's going for an Essence Reaver with those 2 long swords on the build, and Dragon is coming up soon in about 2 seconds. That will be the Infernal, so if FaZe Gaming is able to pick this up, then it will be a lot more damage, and the gold lead will just basically balloon from there, because we already have a 4,000 gold lead. You got to imagine with those stats, the 4% ability power and attack damage is going to increase that to a virtual 2,000 additional gold lead. The Dragon is started up here on the side of Fiddlesticks. Bot lane is really trying to push Jinx under the tower. That way, Fiddlesticks does have that priority. And looks like Graves is not in position, so this will be the Infernal Dragon going over to the side of Sharkbait. Able to really sneak that one away. Now Jinx is able to land her W slow. Lulu comes in with her slow as well. There is going to be a little bit of a movement speed. Flash forward, ultimate onto the Lulu, and that's going to be a huge outplay on the side of FaZe Gaming with both flashes being used here. Lulu knowing the extent of her champion. Mega Death Rocket able to finally take down the Misfortune as well. Fiora still wanted to go on these trades here, but she's a little bit caught out of damage, and the parry is used a little bit too early. But Ornn just walks away from her, not really understanding the damage that he had, or maybe just had too many cooldowns there. Now, Morgana is 30 CS down from this Xerath. Not really able to get anything done and down in kills. Only has 1 assist to her name, so the gold disparity is huge. You got to imagine for the Misfortune. Fiora wanting to go in for some more Q procs. Fiddlesticks is making his way over to the top lane. This could be a little bit of a gank coming through. The ultimate is going to be used, and that is going to be a feared up Ornn. The healing is going to come through, flash away, but the Fiddlesticks is going to be able to take up the Ornn. Graves on the way on the bot lane as well. Misfortune might have been caught out a little bit too much. The damage is huge. Heal having to be used to get away from those traps. Mega Death Rocket is unavailable to be used. Pyke is going super low. Those auto attacks are huge from Jinx with that Infinity Edge, doing a lot of damage with the extra range on the rocket launcher. But the Misfortune does live. But we do have a gank coming over here. Xerath ultimate being used as well. Jinx is going to be able to pick up the kill. No, Xerath is able to pick it up, and that is going to be first tower as well, going down for the side of FaZe Gaming, able to pick up that extra gold. And Sharkbait needed to get early game priority, early game gold, and is unable to do so. So this easier to execute team composition, especially with the Jinx coming online, this is looking very grim for the side of Sharkbait. I don't know how they would come back into this game, except for a lot of mistakes coming out from the side of FaZe Gaming. Okay, Raptor's going to be taken away from Fiddlesticks by Jinx. Really just wanting to balloon her gold lead. Now she has a CS difference as well. I wonder if we're going to see a top lane rotation coming out. Fiora is going to use teleport to get back to the top lane there. Jinx just getting it back here. And Fiddlesticks, again, is in the jungle of Graves, just really able to sneak in there and take away a lot of those camps. So Fiddlesticks doing a good job of getting the invades, but I just don't know if it's going to be enough. Especially with the gold lead now, almost 7,000 gold lead for the side of FaZe Gaming. That is, especially at 14 minutes, almost seems insurmountable. Well, we're going to have to see how this game will play out. This is a little bit of a lower elo game, so mistakes still can happen. Nobody plays games perfectly, but we are looking for FaZe Gaming to close this one out cleanly. Some safety pings onto the Jinx. Jinx is looking to farm up in this mid lane. I really think Xerath should go bot now that the tower has fallen, but Fiora wants to go in onto this Ornn. Flash forward, but Graves is here, and the Ornn horn going to be used. Is she going to be able to go fall down? No, the parry is used correctly and is able to stun up the Graves. Should be able to walk away now that she used her abilities in the correct timing. But Flash used on Fiora. Xerath just picking up casual kills onto the Misfortune here while that's happening. Probably deleted her from the map. Fiddlesticks on his way over. Is that going to be enough? Flash forward as well used. That is a lot of damage from the Fiddlesticks, and that is going to be cleanup city. Fiora getting huge shutdown from the Graves as well. That's going to mean a lot for this game going forward. Able to lean up a little bit, but the stun does come through onto the Pyke from the Xerath, and Lulu will be able to clean up that kill as well. Just Pyke stepping a little too far forward. Q damage is huge, but the Fiddlesticks is here as well. Silence coming through, but this is a 2v1. I'm not sure what the damage here is. Exhaust does come through as well. Lulu ultimate used to stay alive. Morgana just stepping forward too far, and that's going to be Lulu taking down from the tower. This is too low, though. Zanya's being used as well. Binding is going to miss. Xerath is able to land his abilities. The stun is coming through, but is almost dead. Is Xerath going to live? Yes, he is! Jinx able to come up and save her teammate. Whoa! Xerath able to come up with a fancy feat work. If that binding earlier had landed, Xerath surely would have fallen. But Fiddlesticks just staying a little too much. Really wanting those kills. Should have backed off as soon as the Lulu was gone, but I guess just really wanted that 650 shutdown. That is on the Xerath. This Pyke might be able to get it. Is coming up in his cloak now. Ultimate used. Flash away from the Xerath. Going to be able to stay alive in Pyke. I really would have liked to see a hook first because you could have gotten the kill there. Really unfortunate to see that happen. Now the Xerath 6-0-6 unkilled in this game so far. The Lulu is doing some absolute amazing work as well. That exhaust was perfect time on the Fiddlesticks, and the ultimate able to stay alive for just a little bit longer. Stepped a little too far forward, taking those turret damage, but the Jinx is caught out here from the Fiddlesticks. It's a lot of damage onto the Jinx, but is the Kite Away going to happen? No, Fiora is here. Flash Away going to be used as well. Traps laid, so we'll be able to get to safety. That is good play here from the side of Jinx. Blast Cone able to get her away as well. Fiddlesticks ultimate being used. Lulu a little bit caught out, but Fiddlesticks, there are 4 people on the other side of that wall. You're not going to want to go in. Ornhorn being used as well. Jinx still a little bit out of position, but is able to get these auto attacks off started now. Fiora is going to fall as well. The Reset City will come through. Jinx able to pick up the kill. Pyke will be able to get himself to safety, though the tower is too close, and that is a good collapse from the side of FaZe Gaming. Now 17 kills to 5. This gold lead looking a little too insurmountable. 6 kills on both carries. Xerath and Jinx Riftail are going to be picked up easily as well. Sharkbait starting to fall a little too much, giving away too much in the early game when they're the ones that needed the early game pressure. They're the ones that needed the early game lead, and they were not able to get it at all. Now this team fighting, front-to-back standard team comp on the side of FaZe Gaming is going to be able to close out this game with ease as long as they don't make any mistakes, so we'll be excited to see if they're able to do that. Morgana binding landing, but that is going to be the W slow from the Jinx here. And Pyke, a lot of auto damage coming out as well. Graves is here, but there are 4 people. Fiddlesticks making his way over. This would be an overstay. This could be the mistake that we were looking for from the side of Sharkbait. Morgana binding gonna miss. Flash away from the Graves to be able to get away here. Oh, sorry, the Lulu to get away there. And a 5-man collapse in the mid lane will be enough to keep that mid-tier 2 tower alive. Only 1 tower taken from the side of Sharkbait, and that is the top lane, but it looks like Xerath will clean up the top lane turret on the blue side as well. Fiora making her way up here, wants to protect that turret. Lulu here as well, but low health. We're going to see if the outplay is going to come through. No, Ornn will be here to dissuade that. So if Fiora goes for this will be massive disparaging here. The ultimate on the Lulu going to be used for the knockup. Stun, not able to connect with the parry coming through, but that is still too many members for Fiora to fight, but is going to be able to get away. Goodness gracious, I can't believe that the Fiora was able to get away with her life there. That was highly illegal. Basically got away with murder in this game. Fiddlesticks ward just going to be able to scare the Graves away. It is incredibly terrifying when you see that. You're like, wait a second, I just killed Fiddlesticks. How is he alive again? And you forgot that he is basically a ward as well. W slow onto the Pyke with Black Shield being used, so no further CC can come through. Fiddlesticks is here on the ward. Ultimate going to be used. Going in onto the Jinx. The silence is going to be enough. Maybe the bullet time is going to land onto 3 people. That is going to be enough damage, but the Jinx able to kite away, and that is a huge turnaround. The kills will come through, but Jinx is huge, especially now with the Runaan's Hurricane. Oh my goodness, Jinx, you are coming online, and that is a triple kill. Are we going to see a pentakill? No. Here, oh my goodness, the Fiora might fall. The damage is enough. Are we going to get a pentakill on the ADC? That is a flash forward pentakill onto the Jinx. This is absolutely huge. The resets are too good, and Jinx is absolutely massive. They were not paying attention. Runaan's Hurricane onto the side of the Jinx. Once she gets those 2 items, i.e. and Runaan's with her Berserker Greaves, she is able to do absolute amazing teamfight damage. And that is going to be FaZe Gaming able to take away an inhibitor at the very least. That turnaround was absolutely huge because they did have the jump onto the Jinx and Fiddlesticks going in with the ultimate and the silence and the slows, but Jinx able to stay alive. The bullet time not doing enough damage because Miss Fortune is so behind in this game, only having an Essence Reaver and Berserker Greaves and starting to build a little bit defensively with the Null Magic Mantle wasn't enough damage to take out the Jinx, and that is going to be Jinx picking up a huge pentakill, first pentakill in the ESDL. I cannot believe that this Jinx is starting to come online now. I am excited to see an AD carry take over a game because you don't see that in this season. AD carries have been taking a lot of their agency away from the game, so it is exciting to finally see an AD carry do some work here, but this is an engage coming through. Sharkbait is available to go in on the side here. Ward, they are sitting on a ward though, so it's not going to be good enough. The Fiddlesticks able to scare people with his flash away from his clone, but the Xerath has a flank here. This is going to be a lot of team fade damage, and now you're going to be able to see a lot of damage coming through. Bullet time is used, but Jinx is able to pick up the double kill with those huge crits, and that is going to be a lot of damage coming down onto the Fiddlesticks as well, but Jinx does fall to the Fiddlesticks. That is a lot of shutdown gold coming over, but Fiora might be caught out a little bit. The Ornhorn is coming through. The stun does land, and that is going to be a dead Fiora as well. Jinx stepped a little too far forward, and the Fiddlesticks was able to collapse on the Jinx, but that is okay. The first death onto the Jinx. That is a lot of shutdown gold over to the Fiddlesticks, but I still don't know if it's enough because 44,000 gold to 32,000 onto the side of Sharkbait. Now with the Cloud Dragon being up, this will be a Cloud Soul potentially over to FaZe Gaming. That'll be ultimate cooldowns reduced, movement speed as well, so Jinx will be able to stay alive. Is Xerath able to do a lot more, have a lot more mobility as well, because usually an immobile champion, Xerath, is just a tank, but you got to imagine with Dragon, Cloud Dragon Soul, will have a lot of movement speed to be able to get away here. We do not see any of the ornaments coming through yet, not time exactly for that to come through. Jinx will take the red buff. Graves will give it to her, thankfully. And just a little bit of a reset now coming out from both teams wanting to spin their gold. This is looking incredibly grim for Sharkbait. I just don't see them being able to come back, especially with the... Oh, but the Jinx might be caught out a little bit here. Does have a lot of auto attack damage, but the fear is going to be huge. Mega Death Rocket used in the flash for style. Oh, Jinx, you are just showing your mechanics off in this game, aren't you? Super Mega Death Rocket able to pick up the kill onto the Fiddlesticks, take him away, and that is going to be an easy Baron call. Once the jungle is off the table, no Smite Steal can come through, and Sharkbait is just too weak to be able to contest this Baron. That will be a lot of gold now picked up on the map too, because we still have a couple turrets to pick up, and if both other inhibitors that are alive can fall, Xerath ultimate being used here, that is a lot of damage, and Jinx with one final auto is going to be able to pick it up. Able to sidestep the Morgana Q as well. Still trying to go in. Are we going to get any slows to be able to get the resets? The damage from these auto attacks is absolutely huge. Yes, the Jinx will get the reset city coming through as well. Misfortune will fall. Fiddlesticks will fall. This is too easy for the Jinx. She can basically run over the entire team. Traps being used as well. Pike will fall as well. And this is going to be an easy game for FaZe Gaming. Able to show their true knowledge here. That will be the Nexus falling for Sharkbait, and FaZe Gaming going up 1-0 in this ESDL match. And you gotta imagine FaZe Gaming coming out huge, able to get the better of the early game composition and just basically run away with that game. I can't imagine anything else, a better way to end it, just because of how good the fights were on the side of FaZe Gaming. Really, the collapses coming through and showing the team fight prowess, and really, standard front to back team fighting is made a huge difference in this game. Now, I'm just going to get the second game loaded up here. Hopefully, I haven't taken too much time. Okay, tournament code is invalid. Looks like they just wanted to go through. Let's take a look here. Okay, I am able to get in. Ooh, that was scary. C9 Morgana. Ready ups coming in as well. So we will have Game 2 coming out. And remember, in the ESDL, in the regular season weeks, it is just a best of 2. So we're playing it more European style, 1-for-1, so ties can come as well. But what we've seen lately is once a team goes down 0-1, it is very difficult for them to come back, especially when it was a huge stomp like that. Jinx and was able to take the game away. Once the Graves was able to take his advantage that he had gained in the top lane and the mid lane and able to really translate that down to the bottom lane, Jinx was able to come online and get the damage coming out. But we do have the draft setting up here now, so we will go over and check out the picks and bans. Similar bans from last game, Malphite and Warwick both being taken off the table here as well. I wonder if we're going to see a classic NA reactionary ban coming out from the side of Sharkbait, since they did lose that game, unfortunately there. Sharkbait fans, looks like your team needs some of your energy, so I'm going to need a lot of spamming in the chat in order to give them your energy, because right now they are a little bit, you got to imagine, a little bit mentally frustrated, hopefully able to bounce back, but they're going to need your help in order to do that. So let's go some Sharkbait HaHa in the chat. Sharkbait HaHa. Sharkbait HaHa. All right, and we are going to see the Vayne and Vigar picked up here from Sharkbait. Now, Vayne was banned last game, and now we do see a little bit of a change of Swain banned away. So the Orange still will be picked up for FaZe Gaming, a very solid top laner, as we saw in the last game. Amumu, so a little bit of a change here. The Graves was available, so a little bit confusing there, but we do see Cassidon coming through now as well. That was banned out in the previous game. Is this gonna be a Vayne top lane against the Ornn? I do think it is, specifically because now we see the Xayah coming through. So you gotta imagine Xayah going through to the bot lane and Vayne flexing up in the top lane, really looking to bully this Ornn out. Fiora was able to get some good trades in the early game, but Graves just basically shut down the Fiora with those superior roams to the Fiddlesticks. Yasuo ban coming through as well. Now we don't see any AD carries picked up from the side of FaZe yet, so that is a decent ban coming through, but Yasuo really more of a solo laner. FaZe fans, if you're excited to see your team potentially close out a 2-0 series against Sharkbait HaHa, please let me know in the chat below. Both teams need your energy. And the reactionary Jinx ban coming out. Now, the thing is Jinx is a very one-dimensional champion. She's either feast or famine. You either get a lot of kills early, or you just get a little bit of a lead, and you're able to balloon that with the help of your team, and you just take over the game. Or you get shut down in the early game, which they had a chance to do with the Fiddlesticks was roaming down to be able to get the Jinx kill, but Jinx able to play safe enough in order to dissuade that gank. And when she is famine, she is ineffective. She does not have the damage, unable to chase anybody down. The slows and the CC is not worth it. The Mega Death Rocket basically does no damage. So, really would have liked to see a different ban, but that is the classic NA reactionary ban from the side of Sharkbait. And Ashe Lulu picked up. That is going to be a lot of slows and a lot of CC from the side of FaZe Gaming, with the Ornn Horn and the Brittle Procs and the Knockup and the Amumu Bandage and the Ultimate and the Ashe Arrow and the Ashe Slows and the Lulu Slow and the Lulu Knockup. There's just so many so much CC from the side of FaZe Gaming. It is going to be incredibly difficult to deal with. Now, we do have a Vygar cage available. Thresh is a huge playmaker, and Kha'Zix picked up here in the jungle for the side of Sharkbait. So wanting to go in a completely different direction, even though the Fiddlesticks was still available. Now, again, we don't see any tanks picked up from Sharkbait. I'm seeing a lot more of this happening from the side, from like more bronze, iron, low silver, average tier teams. They're not prioritizing tanks, and the teams that are prioritizing tanks are the teams that are able to close out the game, because I don't see the mechanics of these lower elo players able to get the better of these tanks and really take advantage of them in the early game. But we will see what's going to happen here. Now we have our competitive integrity delay here, so just under 3 minutes we will be getting into the game here. Again, I favor the side of FaZe Gaming's draft. Easier to execute, 2 tanks in the front line with a lot of lockdown and peel for this Ashe and Kassadin. Kassadin going to be able to dodge, dart in and out of these team fights with the Rift Walk, able to get in, do his damage, back out, get himself to safety. Lulu there as well, for if any of the carries do get low, she will be able to save them with her ultimate. Now, we did see in the previous game, Lulu really using that ultimate on herself aggressively. The flash forward, we saw that earlier to pick up the kills, the 2v2 kill in the bot lane. And with this Ashe coming online as well with global stun from the enchanted crystal arrow, there's just too much CC and a lot of damage coming out from FaZe Gaming. It's going to be so easy to execute. Now, on the side of Sharkbait, Vygar presses R and somebody's dead. Thresh able to lock somebody down from afar with his hooks and then the ultimate and the flays. Xayah does have the ability to go untargetable with her ultimate and have a lot of feathers come down for some snares. And Vayne does have her condemn, but it's a little bit less CC, and they do have the damage if they can find the right team fight, especially when the Vayne goes Bork. It will be able to take a lot of this health and negate that, because the Silver Bolts will do true damage as well, and then the Bork doing max health percentage damage. The damage will come through onto the Vayne, but is she going to be able to come online? It's going to be up to the Kha'Zix and the early game potential, because Amumu usually does do a level 2 gank, either top, mid, or bot. That's just usually how it goes, especially in lower elos. But Kha'Zix does have a lot more early game ganking potential. So I do want to see what this Kha'Zix is going to be able to do, because it looks like this game will be in the hands of the junglers again, because I just don't see an advantage going to be able to get generated in the mid lane. Kassadin against Vygar, I believe Kassadin wins that every single time, because the Rift Walk should be able to get through the Vygar cage, because it is a blink and it's not a dash. Ashe Lulu is going to be a lot stronger, in my opinion, than Xayah Thresh, unless Thresh lands a hook. There is a lot more trading potential from Ashe Lulu and a lot more all-in potential from Xayah Thresh. So it will be exciting to see. That lane can actually go either way. And Vayne does look to be able to have the advantage, especially in the early levels against the Ornn, as long as she stays away from the Ornn combo. If she doesn't get knocked up, doesn't let the brittle proc come through, and stays at range and just lets the silver bolts proc over and over and over, she should have the advantage in the early game. Now, just a couple more seconds and the game will start up here. Looking forward to seeing how this is gonna come through. The game will be loaded up soon. We're going to see a Firecracker Vayne coming out from the top lane. All right, now we do have the game loaded up here, just getting everything set up. So now we have the series 1-0 on the side of FaZe Gaming. They are up one game. Will Sharkbait HaHa Are they going to be able to tie up the series at 1-1, or will we see FaZe Gaming able to take control of this series and clutch it out 2-0? We are ready for this Week 2 matchup from the ESDL, so I'm excited. Let's get into this game. Start them now. Again, standard bias coming out. Let's fix the portraits here so that way they are correct. Let's zoom out so everybody can see the full game experience. Just like LCS, I hope, but at least you're able to see the team fights when they happen and really get a better bird's eye view versus just a simple POV view. Thresh doing his dance, and it looks like it will be a standard defensive early game for both teams. Neither team wanting to get too aggressive here. Now the Vayne is waiting in this top lane bush. It is not warded, so if the Ornn does step through, potentially some early trading damage will be able to come through and get a little bit of early priority in that lane to get level 2 quicker than the Ornn, because once Vayne gets silver bolts, if she can have the level disparity and get level 2 first before the Ornn can, there will be a lot more damage able to come up as well. Will be standard leash here, but for both junglers in the bot lane. Amumu able to pick up the red, Kha'Zix getting onto the blue. Both teams able to make their way over to their respective lanes. Okay. Ashe, unfortunately, missed the farm, just unfortunately barely mistimed her volley there, so unable to pick up those CS. So a little bit of an early advantage for the Xayah. Able to clean that up now. Now, it will be interesting to see who gets level 2 here. Xayah is losing the race. Ashe really able to start wave clearing a lot earlier with the help of the Lulu. Now, because Ashe and Lulu are both ranged champions, they are able to bully out Thresh and Xayah in this early game. So it will be up to Thresh to land the incredibly good hooks in order to even that up. Level 2 both for both laners here, and we do see Vayne able to get the early advantage, early lane priority onto the Ornn, because she was able to get that silver bolt damage coming through, especially running press the attack. That is a lot of damage early game if you do get all 3 autos off, even if you throw in a tumble there as well. Now Lulu staying in this bush is going to be caught out a little bit. Here comes the Xayah able to lock her down, but Ashe will be able to dissuade that all in there just because she had full health, and it was the Lulu called out. Now, I know with these Enchanter supports, you do want to focus them if you can. Kha'Zix invading here onto the jungle here, able to get the flash away onto the Amumu, so that will be an advantage for the junglers here. Some pings coming on the way. Casting wants to make his way over, just able to really force Kha'Zix out of the jungle, but both players will stay alive here. Bot lane is looking very grim, even with that hook coming through from the side of Thresh. Ashe slows and the ability to chase with the Lulu shields protecting the Ashe, really having a lot of confidence to go through and get these extra autos to do a lot more damage onto the side of Sharkbait's bot lane. Thresh does land a hook, but it just doesn't do anything because they're so low health. I don't know if staying here is the right call. Vigar Cage coming through, able to get a lot of damage going through. Volley is going to land on both champions, and they are incredibly low. Vayne, though, is doing a lot of work in this top lane, really able to push that pressure. But even though Xayah has been bullied in this early game, she is able to stay up relatively even in farm. Vigar misses all of his abilities onto the Kassadin. Kassadin with the fancy feet work, able to dodge the Dark Star and the Dark Matter. Now, Vayne and Ornn are both being left alone here in this top lane. Amumu focusing more towards the bottom and mid lanes. So there is going to be a big advantage pulled up here for the Vayne. 10 CS to 25. Now the wave is crashing. Will Vayne allow the Ornn to pick up this farm? Looks like she will, but is Ornn going to be able to execute properly to get that that lead there. Kha'Zix making his way over to the bot lane is going to be able to get a leap on, but the Thresh hook barely misses, barely out of range. The Ashe still wants to go in with these huge slows, is able to get a lot of damage with the kiting. Thresh going low, having to use the lantern for the shield, flash away, and heal used by the Xayah in order to keep her support alive. That is the power of Ashe early game. The slows are so incredible, especially when you go approach velocity as your secondary runes in the inspiration tree. You're able to walk faster, and you just have a better ability to kite. And in this early game, as the ADC specifically, if you're able to get damage onto the enemy team without taking damage, that is the perfect scenario. But we do have level 6 onto the Castle and able to get a lot of damage onto the Veigar. Veigar should be forced to lane, but oh my goodness, the Riftwalk able to deny the Kha'Zix going in. Kha'Zix incredibly low as well. Flash wave being used. Flash onto the Castle, but took too many turret shots there. Is going to be unable to pick up the kills here and will be forced out of lane. So unfortunate for the Cassidy, just a little bit too overzealous, not paying attention to where he was. Dark Star barely going to miss. The cage does come up there, able to lock down the Amumu, does go in though with the Riftwalk, able to get a double kill. Both players falling down to this Cassidy. Lulu getting a lot of slows onto the Thresh. But early game, Cassidy of 2-0, that is incredibly scary, is going to be able to get a huge buy off of this first back. Barely able, once the cage went down, Riftwalk came in, and Kha'Zix was immediately deleted because the full spell combo came through, and then Veigar was too scared, too paralyzed with a Cassidy in his face in order to do anything. So Cassidy able to get the outplay there, even with the Amumu standing at his back, picking up 0 assists for that. And that will be an easy dragon for the side of FaZe Gaming. A little bit of a collapse coming through. Flash forward onto the Lulu, wanted to go in, but the damage is a lot from the Xayah, but the heal does come through, able to knock that out. Thresh will fall. Amumu able to land the bandage, and that will be just an easy cleanup onto the bot lane. 4 versus 2, the numbers are simply greater. If you ever played Risk, when you have more men, it does make it easier in order to take territories, and that is exactly the strategy that FaZe Gaming used there. More players equals more money. And this is a devastating early game for the side here of Sharkbait. They're already down 2,000 gold at 7 minutes. A lot of kills coming through. Cassidy is huge, but the only saving grace is that Vayne is not able to snowball. Yes, she's able to pressure Ornn. Yes, she's able to keep the CS down. But is that going to mean anything when the lead isn't going to be able to be ballooned because there's no focus towards this top lane here? That's what I would like to see, but the Riftwalk does come online, but the Kha'Zix able to jump away from that. But is the Vayne going to be able to get herself a ballooning lead here? Because yes, she does have 20 CS lead. Yes, the Ornn did go back to base, but Ornn does have teleport available, can TP back to lane if he wants to. But if this Vayne is unable to get a lead for herself, will not be able to do anything. The Cassidy does want to go in for a little bit of trading. The Riftwalk is able to get past the Veigar cage stun. A lot more trading damage, and with that magic damage shield, able to nullify a lot of the trading back that Veigar can do with his Dark Star and Dark Matter. So it will be interesting to see. There is a huge CS lead as well, 63-39, and then in the bot lane as well, 62-48. Not as big as the mid lane, but Veigar Cage able to come down and keep himself alive because this Cassidy is getting a lot of juicy trades onto this Veigar. Veigar's got to play incredibly safe in order to farm up safely. Kha'Zix now making his way to the top side. Really needs to pay attention to his Vayne, who does have a lead here. I wish he would go in for a gank onto this Ornn, and I wish the Vayne would also allow the Ornn to push up. That way she can get herself her own advantage. Pings onto the Rift Herald. I don't know if you have the priority to do this because the Cassidy is making his way over to the Rift Herald. Kha'Zix going to go in with the jump, trying to get away, but the Cassidy is there to catch him and say, hey, this is not allowed. Ultimate use from the Kha'Zix to be able to go invisible, but Kassadin, he's not having any of that. Is going to able to take that KO. Will the kill away. The Condemn does come out, able to land onto the Amumu, but the Kassadin again is there. Is this going to be shutdown gold onto the Vayne? One more auto will do it, and yes, the shutdown gold does come through. Amumu very low on health. Is this going to be enough? The bandage will come through, but the Vayne here is able to get the double kill. So yes, Vayne able to get the kills, especially the huge shutdown onto the Kassadin. Now will start coming online. You got to imagine this will be Bork picked up as well, so we'll have a little bit more agency from the side of Sharkbait. They do see a light at the end of the tunnel. It is available for them if they can get this Vayne online, because it is not coming anywhere else on the map. Okay, Vayne able to get the trades there. The hook does come through onto the Lulu, but the shields are going to be enough, and the W already, or the E, excuse me, the feather recall on the Xayah already used, so not going to be able to lock down the Lulu. And again, Ashe just able to get huge return damage. The approach velocity with the slows from the Ashe, especially with the passive, able to really take control of this bot lane. Thresh hook gonna miss as well, so that will go on a longer cooldown than normal. Kha'Zix starting to look towards the top lane, seeing that his Vayne does have some a little bit of a lead here. Rift Herald will be used as well, hopefully able to balloon this lead onto the Vayne, get some more of these plates goes down, but Kassadin able to make his way to the top lane. Thresh does land the hook, but there is no aggro onto the Kassadin, and that will be a dead Lulu. Does fall to the Thresh. There was no execute. The Ornn staying here under tower with the Rift Herald does have a lot of takingness, but does have to use Flash away from the Vayne because that Silver Bulk was going to proc. Just wanted to go up and taste it in his mouth. He really wanted that third Silver Bolt to come through and just let Vayne have it. But now Kassadin up 4-1 and 3 with that bot lane dive that was able to come through. Thresh and Xayah just overstaying when they were low to a full health Ashe and a Lulu with shields for days who still had ultimate available, still has ultimate available now. And Kassadin just being able to roam and do whatever he pleases because he has almost an insurmountable lead in this mid lane. Amumu making his way over to the top lane, does land the bandage, but did have ultimate, but did not want to use it there. Sharkbait does want to go for this dragon, knowing that the Amumu is topside, does have the numbers advantage here, but is Kassadin going to be able to steal it away? Yes, he is. The smite does not come through perfectly, so will unfortunately take that away. The damage does come through, the Xayah ultimate used, and that will be Kassadin taking down, actually, so will be a little bit of a trade. Flash forward into the Ornn horn will cause the Kha'Zix not to be able to get the return damage. There is a lot of tankiness onto the Ornn, unable to get anything. Ignite will be used on the able to take him down. Xayah really wants to go in. Kha'Zix wants to go in as well, but Ornn is so tanky. Auto attacks are huge. Runs away. Flash forward from the Thresh into the Ashe arrow. That was so unexpected. Thresh really wanted to get that kill in, but Ashe knew exactly what he was going to do. And that was a little bit of a disaster. Oh no, now the Kassadin uses teleport and is going to be able to clean up these kills onto the Thresh. Will be able to make it to the Xayah. Yes, he will with the Rift Walk, able to just get wherever he wants. The teleport coming out was huge, able to get those cleanup kills. They stayed a little bit too long for the Ornn, and that just cost them dearly because they did have the correct mentality. Amumu showed topside. Let's go for the dragon. This is an outnumbered team fight, but Kassadin was too strong, and they did not have the focus in order to take down the Ornn. Everybody was so low, but just unable to really capitalize and get the mentality straight to execute the champions to get the final damage coming through. Now, this game is a little more even than the last game. 21,000 to 19,000 gold here. Trades coming onto the Veigar, onto the Lulu. She's going to be able to negate that with the shields and the heals that she does have available to her. Veigar stepping up a little too far forward. Kha'Zix does want to come in here. The ultimate is used. Cage popped. There's a lot of damage onto the Veigar, but Kha'Zix able to pick up the kill onto the Kassadin here. Feather Recall used onto the Ashe, but wasn't able to lock her down. Ashe Arrow used onto the Thresh, and that will be a death Thresh. Band is going to be used. Ultimate used from the Amumu, able to lock down the Ashe, and the Xayah, and Ashe will be able to clean up that kill. Kha'Zix does want to come through, but good bandage from the Amumu to be able to lock it down. Bork and a couple of auto attacks will take the Kha'Zix down from the Ashe, and Ashe is just playing this game so immaculately well, able to really focus on which abilities she wants to use, able to get the correct kiting, able to play with the proper amount of aggression, not overextending, but just letting the mistakes come into her and letting herself able to capitalize on these mistakes from the bot lane of Sharkbait. Horn is going to be used onto the Vayne here. Kassadin is making his way up. Is the Condemned going to be able to come through? Yes, but it's not going to be able to get the stun, and the damage is going to be enough. The flash is used from the Vayne, but Rift Walk is on a 6-second cooldown, so we'll be able to pick up the Vayne there in the top lane. Kassadin now is able to have his way with the map. He can do whatever he wants. Nobody can stop him unless he just goes 1v5, but even still, that is a scary position for the Kassadin to be in at 7-3-3. Doesn't care about the deaths because Teleport was able to get himself the cleanups in that earlier dragon fight that we saw. Especially with the Ashe now picking up the Bork, does have the Berserker Greaves and the BF sword, so probably going a little bit more of a crit build now that she has the Bork coming online, maybe even an Infinity Edge or an Essence Reaver coming out from the side of the Ashe. Vision being cleared up from FaZe Gaming. Ashe Arrow used onto the Xayah, ultimate use, but it will be in vain because the Ashe will pick up the kill onto the Xayah. Kha'Zix able to sneak away from the Ornn and the Amumu here, but we will see some return damage, but Ornn is still so tanky, able to take the ultimate to the face. Thresh falling down to the bot lane as well. Veigar will pick up the kill onto the Ornn. Will the Amumu be able to chase properly? That is going to be a Dark Star used, does miss. Veigar Cage will come down. Vayne making her way over, wants to pick up this kill onto the Amumu. The Kassadin is here as well. Bandage going to be able to use to not only lock down the Veigar, but get himself to safety from this Vayne that was coming down. Kassadin going to be able to pick up that kill as well with the Rift Walks. Doesn't matter what the turret damage is going to be able to do. Lulu coming up here as well just to make sure the shields will keep the Kassadin alive. But that will be Dragon again. Infernal Soul going to be up. Going to be able to go over to the side. Oh, shutdown goal onto the Xayah. Did we see a rage quit from the Vayne, just basically leaving the game? I don't know if that was a disconnect or a rage quit, but the Vayne has left the game. Kassadin did fall to the Xayah, just staying a little bit too much into the turret with the turret aggro onto the Kassadin. But still, 138 CS onto the side of the Ashe compared to the 84 CS. Kha'Zix going to be soloed by the Lulu, potentially. Ultimate does come through. Ashe volley going to be able to land to get the slows, and the Lulu, you got to run away from that. Kha'Zix is still going to be able to kill you at low health like that. Yeah, a little bit of an error from Lulu, but still the kill is going to be able to come through, and that will be Infernal Dragon over to the side of FaZe Gaming here. The collapse is coming through, but the Ashe ultimate going to be able to use to lock down the Veigar. Infernal Dragon does go over to the side of FaZe Gaming, and the slows, just too much. Flash forward being aggressively used from the Ashe in order to take down the Veigar there. So now we've come to the point of the game. We have a 6,000 gold lead, 8,000 gold lead onto the side of FaZe Gaming. They are smacking their wallets around, basically able to take over any fight, even if it's outnumbered, even if it's a disadvantage, because they have the mechanics and they have the money now to be able to pull these fights off, able to use Flash aggressively and not worrying about the Veigar damage coming through onto the Ashe, especially with the Lulu, even with the Lulu being dead as well. Lulu wants to try soloing the Kha'Zix again. Teleport does come through. Looks like that is going to be the Kassadin coming up here, and a lot of damage onto the Lulu, but it's not going to be enough because Kassadin is here to be able to take care of his teammate. Thresh will fall as well. Vayne has not connected, and it looks like it was a rage quit, so that is incredibly unfortunate. Vayne getting tilted off the face of the planet. Now, she did have a lot of lead. and there wasn't a whole lot of attention from the jungler, but still, you got to stay in it from your teammates, and we do see a reconnect coming through here. Possibly it was just a ISP issue, unfortunately kicking her out of the game. Vigar Cage going to be used. Will be able to lock down the Ashe, but no damage returning can be able to come through. The ultimate will come out, locks down the Vigar, and the auto attack damage is too big. Now the Essence Reaver and another crit cloak picked up for the Ashe. So doing a lot amount of damage. Vayne was going to be picked up easily here. Is not even having enough time to click on the Lantern from the Thresh. Thresh is going to fall as well. Kassadin able to go in and get the damage onto the Thresh as well. Taking a little bit of too much turret aggro, but the Rift Herald popped as well. 27-9. Is this going to be the win push here? Kha'Zix able to pick up a kill, but will die for it from the Ashe. Ashe volley able to come through, and Ashe Q's able to come online, and that is an ace for FaZe Gaming on the Sharkbait. Sharkbait just unable to get anything done. Vigar will be up here. The Vigar Cage does land on the 1. Ultimate will pop the Kassadin and does have a little bit of return gold, but that will be a Nexus Tower down onto Sharkbait's Nexus. So now we see a lot more focus and a lot more execution on the team side from FaZe Gaming. They really want to take a hold of this game. They want to close that out early. We are only at 20 minutes in. An inhibitor and a Nexus Tower is gone. Unfortunately, the Vayne did have a lead, but unable to get anything done, only with a Bork and a recurve bow, wanting to get her way to that Ginso's Rage Blade, but Ashe has 3 items. Ashe has 3 items. Kassadin only has 2.5, but Ashe has 3. She is online 12-0-5, 157 CS at 21 minutes. She wants to take over this game. She says, I am the better ADC. You picked the wrong laning matchup into me, and I will take you down. Vayne is going to be caught out here by the Kassadin, just able to use the Rift Wall to get over, and that is going to be a lot of burst damage onto the Vayne. It's not even... it's so sad that the Vayne is going to fall, and then Kha'Zix will fall as well. The exhaust and the volley coming out. Ashe Enchanted Crystal Arrow used as well. That is going to be another pickup. Xayah is a little bit caught out as well. The slows will come through, flash forward and heal, but Ashe is going to be able to catch you with the approach volley. That's going to be another quadra kill onto the Ashe, who had a pentakill last game. She is able to take control of this game, and the death timers are too long. This will be the turret falling down. The Nexus will surely fall on the side of Sharkbait. FaZe Gaming able to take control of this game in a massive way. Vayne is up. Are they going to want to pad their stats a little bit? Yes, they will. Vayne will fall when she is on the fountain. The damage is too much. Kha'Zix, the slow will come out as well. Kassadin will die for it, but this will be a 2-0 cleanup from the side of FaZe Gaming here in the ESDL, taking out Sharkbait. HaHa. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. FaZe Gaming able to take control of this game and show everybody what they really wanted to do, how they wanted to be able to get this, take control of this game, able to really show their experience against the average bronze team. I do want to get an interview with the ADC here. We'll see if the response does come through. But again, both games we saw both teams a little bit even, but then the junglers able to get the correct roams coming through, making their way to the top lane and the mid lane. Kassadin in that second game did have a lot of confidence, able to take care of the Vigar. Ashe has accepted the friend request. We'll see if she accepts the interview. Will the Ashe be able to be available for an interview? Give me 1 second while I get the interview coming through here. Hey, hey, man. So we are joined here by Soft Pillow, who is the ADC for FaZe Gaming. Soft Pillow, just kind of take me through your mindset in game one when you picked up Jinx.
So they picked MF, and I was like, all right, who's a good counter MF? I don't know, pick Jin. So I was like, I don't know. But then when our support guy was like, hey, I can Lulu or Rakan, like, all right, pick Lulu. He's like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's what I want. I was like, all right, give me Jinx. And Lulu is disgusting.
Yeah, especially with those slows coming out, the W able to really lock down opponents. But what was interesting as well is in the first game, you guys were pretty much on your own island. We saw Graves able to get into the top lane and the mid lane and get his lead extended there, but you guys were just kind of left alone. But once the attention was put more focused onto the bot lane, you guys were really able to take control of it, and that's when you picked up your pentakill. So, what kind of mental fortitude were you having when you noticed that nobody was paying attention to you?
No, the reason why they were our jungler didn't gank us as much is I told them, hey, bot lane, we're just gonna play safe. We're
Oh,
gonna play safe until the time's right.
okay, and
And then
then
when the time was right, we just crapped on them.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It was incredibly exciting to watch because Jinx is very easy to get pentakills on, not taking any credit away from you, absolutely. But once you got the Runaans and the Infinity Edge, the team did not respect the damage output that you had. You were able to just basically run over them. Tell me what was going through your mind when you started to pick up those kills.
Objectives. I was like, hey, we need to get Baron. We need to end this real quick because I want to get the game to you as soon as possible.
Right, absolutely. And then in the second game, we just kind of saw a little bit of a steamroll. Your mid laner was able to just completely disregard anything for the Vigar, and you played incredibly aggressively onto the Ashe. It looks like the enemy bot lane did not understand that Lulu Ashe has permaslows and you can kite forever. So tell me a little bit about the strategy going into that game.
Okay, so I usually play a lot of bot. As for the bot line side, I usually play a lot of bot into like Cloud Zaya and Varus back from solo queue. But when I was like, hey, we do Lulu Ads, it's really good. We can just poke him out. Zaya's not that good in early game unless she gets her BS sword real quick. Which that's the one mistake in my opinion that Zaya did. She didn't get the BS sword. Then she would probably outmatch me maybe. But the mid lane, our mid laner is a cast one trick. He's really good. He stomps on really hard. Like I didn't like in my opinion, I didn't expect to see like he's stomping that hard. Like I expected him to stomp really hard, but not that hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was stomping incredibly hard, especially once he once he got that double kill. He had like no health, and then went in on the Vigar and the Kha'Zix, who just overstayed a little bit, able to get that execute damage coming through. It was absolutely disgusting. Once that came through, though, as soon as the double kill came through, the whole team just kind of came online and was able to start taking objectives, start really pressuring all the lanes. The one thing, the saving grace for Sharkbait is they did have the Vayne had a huge advantage onto the Ornn. Were you guys ever scared of the Vayne at all at any point of the game?
At first, yes, because the way she was playing super aggressive, and during the champ select, I'm not gonna lie, I was like, hey, we need to ban Vayne, but then we ended up not banning anyone, so I was like, all right, it's fine. But the Vayne was a problem,
Mm-hmm.
but we did have a Cassidy, and our Cassidy is really good,
Yeah.
and like I'm not gonna lie, that Cassidy he told me so because he's like, yeah, I'm gonna go conquer. I'm like, Fleet Foot works better, but he went conquer and he got that double, and I'm just like, well, that just opened my mind to a whole another build for Cassidy.
It's like I guess I don't need to be able to do anything now. Real quick, unfortunately, I'm a failure at life, and your voice was not coming through on a couple of the earlier questions. So, real quick
Uh-oh.
recap. When you got that pentakill onto the Jinx, kind of give me a little bit more of your insight. You said you were going for objectives, but
Right.
once you started seeing some of the kills come through, did you just think they were just inting at that point? How easy was it for you to clean that up?
I didn't think that they were inting. They actually did try their best,
Mm-hmm.
but like I said, I just got too ahead, and even though they played their best, it's just hard for them.
Right, right. And it's because I'm an AD carry main as well. And what I've noticed in this season specifically is AD carries usually don't have a whole lot of agency in this game. But once you do get an early lead, if you can get it, especially on champions like Jinx, on Ashe, on Vayne, then you can take over this game. Is that what you were looking to do? Was that the strategy going into this game?
Actually, our strategy is more of like play for objectives
Mm-hmm.
and just win. Like honestly, we didn't really had any. My from my perspective, I don't know about everyone else, but like our goal is just get all the objectives, make sure we push up all the lanes, make sure we're just very aggressive, and just win game pretty much.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys were very aggressive. And it was even interesting, too, because we've seen a lot of teams that have lower tier players like, bronze, iron, top laners, junglers. And we saw you guys really move the focus away from your bronze level top laner in the Ornn, who was able to get Ornn both games. So a little bit of a strategy coming out as well. Tell me, when you saw the Graves able to pick up the kills, and especially in game 2, you saw the Vayne just basically able to take over the Ornn. Did you just kind of say, "Hey, Ornn, just do your thing, farm as much as you can. We will take care of this game as long as you don't give over too many deaths"?
Yeah, that was exactly what it was. We wanted him not to feed, which he did a good job on because he went 2-1. As long as he didn't give out as many kills and let the Vayne like grow so big. I mean, she grew
Mm-hmm.
big, but like not as big compared to like our mid laner and our mid laner Cass and I. But like it's gonna happen anyways because like Vayne's just outscales no matter what.
Yeah, absolutely. Silver Bolts, Bork is just able to do damage to anybody no matter what.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But Kassadin able to take over the game, and then especially you in the bot lane, just Xayah didn't have an answer for you, especially once you guys got the items, once you got Bork, and then started working on that Essence Reaver. The slows were just too much. They were unable to. They just kind of like looked like they were running in circles, trying to run away from your auto attacks, but then trying to get their own auto attacks in. So it was really a sight to see in that game. So appreciate that performance.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I am very appreciative for you having me here.
Absolutely. Again, thank you, Soft Pillow, for joining me for this interview. Sorry for the mess ups in the beginning, but still got some good insight from you. Good luck in your next games.
Thank you, man. Have a good one.
You too, bud. All right. Thank you again, everyone, for tuning in for this exciting game. We did see a pentakill from the Jinx. Again, I love seeing ADCs being able to take over games, especially in Season 10. But again, we see FaZe Gaming able to take out Sharkbait HaHa with a clean 2-0 game. Looking forward to see you guys next time. It will be a division championship game tomorrow at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. So if you want to see a championship match, that will be a best of 3. So looking forward to seeing everybody there for that game as well. Again, thanks everyone for tuning in to this stream. I'm your host, Faoline, and we'll see you for the next one.